My name is Jake Meeks, and this is the Fireside Tattoo Network. Today we're going to talk a little bit about tattooable designs, which is a made-up word. It's not real. What is a tattooable design or an untattooable design? It would seem that if I say, sorry, your idea is not tattooable, it means that I can't physically put the ink in the skin to make that design. But that's not really the case at all. In fact, I can tattoo tons of untattooable designs. They just won't look good next year. The issues that we face as tattooers are different than the issues that a painter might face, an illustrator, a graphic artist. We have a lot of limitations when dealing with skin. So when we're thinking about designs that are tattooable, we're thinking about how they live over the years, how they react to sun damage, how they age. And it sounds complex, but it's not really. There are only a handful of variables that come into making a design tattooable. We're dealing with very basic shapes, and by shapes I just mean squares, triangles, circles, rectangles, things like that. Value, dark and light, edges, whether an edge is hard or whether it's soft, and color. That's basically all of the elements that come into creating a dynamic tattoo that lives a long time in the skin. So what's all this information mean to you, the consumer, the person getting the tattoo? Well, let's do a little bit of role playing. Let's pretend that you're coming to me for a consultation. There are two really vital pieces of information that I need in order to create the best possible design for you. The first one is what you're gonna get tattooed, the subject matter. The second is where we're gonna place it on your body. I'll use those two pieces of information to create a dynamic design by first focusing on shapes. The most important shape being the area of the body that we're placing the tattoo. That's the one thing that I cannot change. That includes not just the shape of that part of the body, say a deltoid, a shoulder blade, a calf, but also any surrounding existing tattoos. Marks, moles, birthmarks, hairy areas, anything else that might impact the way that that shape presents itself to me. Using that information, I will break your subject matter, let's use an eagle for example, into the basic shapes that make up an eagle. So an eagle is an interesting one because I can present it in so many ways. I can make an eagle any shape that I want. If I want to focus on the head of an eagle, then I'll focus on an oval. If I want to focus on the wings of an eagle, then I might focus more on a series of triangles. So the body itself has an implied directional movement. It wants certain shapes to sit on it certain ways. Within those shapes, I want to establish a hierarchy, and that's where the value comes into play, the darks and the lights of the shapes. The stronger an area of contrast, dark versus light, the more attention that I draw to that area. The less contrast, medium grays, the less attention, the less focus that is brought to that area. The value is what gives the illusion of reality or believability in a design. How light reveals form. It doesn't take an artist to understand or recognize where that form sits in space, or if it's executed correctly or incorrectly. If you have eyes and you can see, you know when something is right or it's not right because we see it all around us all the time. So when I'm designing and laying out tattoos, I tend to think in a rule of threes. I think about looking at you with the finished tattoo, maybe at the grocery store. You're 3 aisles down, 20 feet away. At that distance, I probably can't tell what the subject matter of your tattoo is, but I do want to see an arrangement of dark and light shapes that are appealing. If they are appealing, then I'm probably more likely to get a little bit closer. Hey, what is that on your arm? By the time I get to 5 feet away from you, now I can tell actually what the tattoo is. And if it's interesting at that point, then I'll get even closer to see how the artist handled whatever it might be. But the point being, if the abstract shapes aren't interesting from 30 feet away, I'll never look at the design long enough to see A, what it is, and B, how well it was executed from a technical standpoint. So this is a principle known as scale variance, and it's something we'll dive into in future episodes. So we've talked about shapes and values, dark and light shapes. The next principle that comes into dynamic design and building tattoos that will last a long time in your body is edges. And so in tattooing, we call it lines, line weight. Everyone talks about having clean lines in their tattoos, but I prefer to think of it as edges because not all edges are hard lines. In fact, if you look around you, there are very few truly sharp edges in the world. And the further an edge gets away from you, the softer it appears. So To further establish the hierarchy in our eagle, for example, if I'm focusing on the head of the eagle, I may put my sharpest edges in the eagle's eye or at the edges of its beak. And as the feathers, the wings move backwards, I may drop those bold lines back to gray lines or just a thinner versions of those lines. And by the time we get to the tail feathers, there may be no lines at all. It may be just a subtle transition in value from a gray to your skin tone. So edges are pretty straightforward. The bolder and thicker a line is, the more it wants to come forward. Contrast pushes forward. The thinner and lighter a line is, the more it wants to move in the distance.
Look, soda.
So the final principle in creating dynamic, long-lasting, durable tattoo designs is color, and it's actually the least important of the principles. It falls behind shapes, values, and edges. And so the big question is, what color should your tattoo be? And the answer is very simple. It is your favorite color. That's it. It gets to be your favorite color. Color doesn't really matter. If we know one piece of the color puzzle, your favorite color is pink, and we're doing a pink eagle on you. You get the first pink eagle that I've ever done. And that pink will dictate to me what the surrounding colors are and the intensity of those colors and where those colors sit on a value scale. I can use all types of different color theories that would help to draw attention to your pink eagle. I could use a complementary color, which would be something in the greenish family, because a complement to red would be green. One thing I want to be sure of, though, if I want to draw attention to your bright pink eagle, is that I don't use a bright green sky. I want to make sure that I'm changing the saturation or intensity of that color, that I'm dropping the green back to help the pink come forward. So the same way that we're creating a hierarchy in our shapes and in our values and in our edges, we're doing the same thing with color. We want to desaturate one color in order to draw attention or intensify the other color. If you could visualize a bright pink eagle flying through a bright green sky, I feel like an idiot in saying this. If I throw a bright green sky behind your bright pink eagle, they cancel each other out. They're competing. Suddenly my background is jumping forward and competing with my foreground. Flattens the whole image out, and it makes it completely uninteresting. So a common question, how often should I expect to have my tattoos touched up? Well, if the tattoo was designed well and the artist followed these principles of creating clear shapes, strong contrast, full value range, a variety of edges, you should never really have to have it touched up. It will age, it will definitely fade over time, but it should fade as a whole. And the goal with tattoos is for them to look like they belong in your body. One of the downfalls to social media today and tattoo portfolios is we present tattoos as if they are meant to glow off of the skin, as if you should be able to reach into them. But tattoos aren't really like that over the long term. They look like they belong in you if they're done well, if they're executed well, if they're designed well. They look like they're a part of your body and they belong there. So could you go through and have your tattoo reworked? Sure, yeah, that's something you could do as time went on. If you never made that decision though, if you left it just as it is, and it aged as a whole, I think it would look good for the life of the tattoo if these principles are followed. If you do have it touched up, should you just touch up the bright colors? No, you should touch up the blacks. Often when I'm going back into existing tattoos, maybe I am working on a full sleeve that already has a shoulder cap, and I need to pull the shoulder cap so that it looks like it was done at the same time as the rest of the sleeve. I'm looking at my darkest darks, and most often the lightest lights, my yellows, my baby blues, all of these light bright colors, those things look more dynamic and more interesting if I leave the existing faded tattoo and just punch my darks up. Just hit my boldest outlines and let my aged lines sit the way that they are. That's where you're able to push contrast even further. So when I find myself going back into existing tattoos, it's rare that I'm trying to make them brighter. I'm trying to reinforce that contrast, reinforce that hierarchy. So these are the principles of creating dynamic tattoos that live a long time in the skin. Durable tattoos that can stand up to your Florida vacations.
Specifically your Florida vacations.
Only your Florida vacations.
You're my Florida man.
Right.
I want to give a special shout out to this video's sponsor, S8 Tattoo. You can check out all of their fantastic tattoo products through the link in the description below. Use the code Fireside to get 10% off of any tattoo product. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out our website at firesidetattoo.com for tons more content, including our weekly video podcast, our Fireside Technique series, courses, workshops with top tattooers and painters, and also unique Fireside merchandise. And be sure to subscribe for more exciting content coming soon. We'll catch you in the next video.